since the moment you have that idea is how the journey took place for you to complete that book and get it out to the world?
Yeah, that's a long story. It's a very long process to get a book out into the world. It's like being pregnant, except that instead of being pregnant for 9 months, I was pregnant for like 8 years. It's just a really long time. So, I started the research for the book officially, in 2014 when I started my PhD program. But like I mentioned to you before, I'd been gathering data and observing an organization since I started working, which was a number of years ago. So, I tried writing the book by myself. And that was tough because when you're working full time and trying to carve out time to write the book, it's a very challenging thing, to spend enough time with your family, to spend enough time with your work. And so I ended up hiring an organization to help me learn how to structure a book, how to outline a book. Because I wrote a dissertation, for my doctoral degree, but that is not the same thing as writing a novel, sorry, it's not a fiction book. But it's not the same thing as writing, a non-fiction business book. And so I had to learn how to, outline and structure the book. I had to learn how to write the book in a tone that was conversational because I wanted it to be more like the person who's reading and me were having a conversation. Maybe they're in a coaching call with me, or maybe we're doing a consulting conversation. I wanted it to be more conversational. I did not want the book to read like a leadership textbook that was very academic and very dense and very hard to get through. So I structured it using anecdotes that start off each chapter so that people can read the stories and see this example of human leadership come to life before their eyes and understand what that looks like. And then talk about, what are some of the behaviors that get in the way of acting in that human way? And then what are some actions that people can take to counteract those behaviors? And then what are some tools that people can use, to have in their toolkit that help them lead in a more humane and more compassionate and kind way? And so each chapter is structured that way, where it kicks off with a story that illustrates the main point or illustrates the key point, and then has the actions, tools, and behaviors listed that are also, again, additional things that they can put into their toolkit. So, the book it can be read, in order in the chapters. It can be read, one chapter at a time randomly. But the overall structure is meant for the reader to create a roadmap. So it's a book that requires their active attention. It's a book that requires their participation and reflection throughout the book. And it's set up so that they begin by taking this journey of how do they lead themselves, so that helps them lead others. And then that helps them lead the business. And so throughout the book, there are activities and questions designed to help them walk through that. And then there's a roadmap called the Human Leader Action Plan that helps them put all of those pieces into place. And in the middle of the book, they have an assessment that they can take that's also online that allows them to evaluate how are they acting as a leader today, and how close is that to human leadership. And then based on that, they get their results, and then they can pick out some of the areas that they want to focus on and add those into their Human Leader Action Plan.
Beautiful.
So it becomes almost like they're coaching themselves through this book, and I give them the roadmap to do that.
Wow.